times women went lunatic on paternity court.
Found me on Facebook. I'm glad. Ooh, we found out. Oh, you the lost child. Oh, you know, and my grandmother told me that she do not like my mother at all. And she said I am a woman. She said I walk like a woman. I look like a woman. I talk like a woman, and I ain't standing because I know I'm a woman.
This is fake right here. All this crap. That's all fake.
What you are
she is
fake.
not like that. That is all fake.
No,
Do you, girl?
She came and told me she was 2 months pregnant, and time went on. About 2-3 months had passed, and she come back and tell me she's 2 months pregnant.
Lying, Your Honor.
You didn't come back. You didn't come back when you was supposed to be 4 months and you was pregnant.
Can I talk?
See, paternity doubts can make things rough. FYI, the whole courtroom can end up as a shouting circus. So both parties are on opposite pages. Regular limbo in the paternity court started on this note.
Ms. Poe, so he's done nothing for this little boy, nothing at all?
No, Your Honor, he ain't did nothing. He ain't bought him a diaper, he ain't bought him a shoe, he ain't bought him a shirt. He don't do anything for my son.
Are you serious?
He call him once in a while, that's it.
Once in
That's
a while?
not
I don't call him every day. I don't see him at least 3-4 times a week.
That's not being a father, Your
I don't call
Honor.
him every day?
No, you don't.
You've heard the twain, right? Now it was time for a little backdrop. The defendant claimed that he was very much active in his alleged clique's life, even though he knows that Miss Power was fooling around with a different man. And the baby mama responded to the actions with this audacity.
And you say he's denying him?
Absolutely.
And she have admitted in the past, but nowadays she would say it's not true. So when you didn't leave me and go lay with somebody else?
He said he wanted to go to sleep.
There was no
he
other
fell
girl there.
asleep
And did you not
on
leave
the
and go back
couch.
and lay with him?
Yeah, absolutely I left, but I
Okay
did not
then.
go leave
Okay then.
lay with another man.
People in this courtroom, not in the streets, holla one at a time. After that verbal buckaroo, we got to the part where Mr. Tarver told us about his suspicions about the conception date. But the baby mama didn't like it and had the whole story lined up for it.
She came and told me she was 2 months pregnant, and time went on. About 2-3 months had passed, and she come back and tell me she's 2 months pregnant.
Lying, Your Honor.
You didn't come back. You didn't come back when you was supposed to be 4 months and you was pregnant.
Can I talk? I ended up having to go to the hospital, and they actually did an ultrasound on my baby.
Ambiguity, man! This to and fro is doing no good to the trail or the baby. That's why the judge went on to ask Miss Powell about the pregnancy. And she told the court that she was also confused between the dates. But it wasn't the clinic's fault, which Mr. Tarver found hard to believe.
How long after that particular appointment did you have to go for the ultrasound?
At least 2.5 months.
It was a month later.
At least.
Did
It don't add up.
Mr. Tarver go to any of the doctor's
No,
appointments
he
with
did
you?
not. He didn't go.
There was one.
not
Your
one
Honor,
doctor's appointment
May I
with me.
speak now?
Up next, confusion about the doctor's appointment came up, which was another rip in the situation. Turns out that Miss Power had been to the clinic months ago. And when the defendant found out about it, no word coming out of his girl's mouth seemed credible anymore.
So the doctor's office says she was there 2 weeks ago?
No, she said she was there 2 weeks ago. When we get to the doctor, there's a sign on the door saying they moved
They
to
was
another
at
address
lunch.
3 months ago.
They was at
3 months ago.
Boy, they was
3
at
months ago.
lunch.
Now they was at
Why
lunch.
was
No, we
somebody-
went to lunch. We
so
didn't go to
3
lunch.
months ago.
You're saying the doctor's office was not closed?
No, I was
There was
there
no
on
doctor's
prenatal.
office.
Well, looks like finding this conception date is more like a needle in the hay. So let's skip the day of birth. Was there a potential baby daddy there? Yes, he was. Did he sign the birth certificate? Nope. And here is why.
Was Mr. Tarver there the day you gave birth?
Yes, he was.
Did he sign the birth certificate?
No, he told me he
Because
did
you
not
didn't
want
want
to
me to,
sign.
because you didn't
no,
want me to.
he did not sign the birth certificate. He said he didn't want his name on nothing. Don't give my son his last name because he didn't want me to put him on child support. That's what he told me, and he left.
I named him.
Did that make any sense to you? Of course it didn't. Cause this is just a mess of people running around like Palooza and ruining little lives, not cutting each other slack and acting like lunatics in the courtroom.
I'm not saying I don't want him to be mine. Why play this role if this not what it is?
Did you have doubts when you were naming him? And
Of course.
All the time he used to tell me, I know that's my son. We young, we dumb.
We were never together.
Oh,
we was in
come on,
school.
Gus, we was never together.
You wouldn't
why
leave.
Why you was telling me you left
You
me?
wouldn't leave.
I wouldn't leave.
Up next, judge called in a witness, which was the defendant, another baby mama, who also claimed that multiple men were claiming to be potential fathers. This statement was accompanied by some screenshots that made the plaintiff go ballistic.
Ms. Jones, you are
His fiance.
Mr. Tarver's fiance.
That's
Yes.
a clown.
So, ma'am, what do you know about this situation?
To be honest, they say that it's multiple people was claiming her baby at the time.
You don't even know me. Even though you didn't want me down there. You slept with me every night, more than one time a night.
Well, he didn't deny that.
Man, they're going to burst my eardrums for sure. Too much screaming and stubbornness going on here. There is only one way to end this for good. Judge, please get that envelope.
Pertaining to 1-year-old Joshawn Poe, Mr. Tarver, you are Joshawn's father.
Thank you.
That's what I wanted
Thank
to do, though.
you.
That's what I wanted as well. It's not like I was
Thank
saying
you.
I don't want him.
Young women have been denied long enough, and now she wants acceptance wrapped in an apology. While her alleged paternal family claimed that Miss Bacchus' mother's deception has already left them with $92,000 in child support, and they refuse to go on like this.
Ms. Backus, you demand Ms. Smith and the rest of your father's family apologize for treating you so poorly.
Yes, Your Honor.
The point that they started garnishing his wages, it was going into arrears, drawing interest, and now is over $92,606.06.
Yeah, a DNA test is an easy solution for all the trouble. Why not opt for it? Because the difference was always up for it. She even told the court how their harsh treatment had affected her. But this result will set things right, once and for all.
If that's the case, then he should have showed up when I showed up and when they took blood from me just to have the test. He should have showed up for the test and we wouldn't be here today. First of all, I remember being young and scared, and I started crying for my dad. They held me down and blew dry for me, and all I remember is I kept screaming for my father.
Oh, poor thing has been through a lot. Up can see rage bottled up in her. Miss Bacchus even told the court how her parents were together for 7 years. And then, him just denying her like that was just painful. On the other hand, Mr. Wooten was just after his money and was using the children to her advantage.
I was conceived when a year later after him and my mother was together. And they was together for 7 years.
Once she was 4 months pregnant with her, we broke up. I realized that most of the things that she was only interested in was me helping her financially. And one of the first things she asked me 1 month after we was together.
But that does not rule out being a potential father, does it? You were there. It doesn't matter if it was for 7 or 4 years. However, the tricky part was that Miss Bacchus' mother was being portrayed as a compulsive liar in the courtroom, and this was really hard for the young defendant.
Father, no disrespect and not to interrupt you, but my mother told me I sat on the couch and she told me that you had said that you wanted another child.
Yeah.
That's what was told to me. But you're telling me something different, so that's why we're here today.
3 weeks into knowing her, she wanted to know why.
She told me I was together a whole year and then I was born a year later.
However, when plaintiffs kept on accusing Miss Bacchus about how she was trying to push her way into their family and posting on social media about them being related, this made, likewise, the defendant went off the wall like this.
I'm tired of the rumors. Her kids found me on Facebook. I'm glad, we found out, you're the lost child. And my grandmother told me that she do not like my mother at all. And she said I am a woman. She said I walk like a woman. I look like a woman. I talk like a woman, and I ain't standing because I know I'm a woman.
Miss Bacchus even had proof from her childhood that she wasn't always the stranded child. She further claimed that all the coldness and denial were because of Green.
If the money wasn't involved, they wouldn't be saying this, but it's cool, because you've been hurting me for 34 years. I know how to take it now.
Ms. Bacchus, what is this a picture of?
That is my mother. That's me in the middle, and that's CC on the end. That's why I can't never stop loving her. And she making me mad right now, but I still got love, because I am.
The young woman has suffered long enough for the truth. And it was clear that regardless of what may come, she was in for truth and nothing but the truth.
My stepdaddy had to take me to my father because I was treating him like crap. He wanted to know what is the pain that this young lady is going through. So my stepdaddy loved me so much. He brought me down here so I could be with my father. Even when her own daughter wanted to come stand by my side today, it's gonna show and prove that he is my father.
I think I've heard enough and I'm ready for the results.
Well, paternity court stands for going all the way because the truth is what sets us free. And no matter how much you push it under the rug, it will get out. So let's see what fate has for Miss Bacchus.
Mr. Wooten Jr., you are not her father.
I want to apologize to the Wooten Pryor Clayton family for my mom's BS. TC, I came here with the confidence of knowing he was my father and knowing you was my sister. So now that I know the truth, I'm sorry. Mama, you got to pay that back.
She'll always be the daughter to me.
After the tragic passing of her mother, Miss Mitchell is left alone in the world. And even though she was once taken in by the defendants, this went on for a long time. And this alienation has taken a toll on the plaintiff.
I came here to see if he is my biological father because I lost my mother a year ago from breast cancer. I just want to fill that void. I don't have no one else. It's just me. And I just want to make sure that he is my father. And I just want closure.
I understand.
Mitchell was obviously looking for her paternal closure. But the man she was looking up to claimed that he just adopted her out of generosity, and cleavage between them was because of her mother and couldn't be undone.
I understand her feelings, but when she was younger, and I found out about her, hey, all I could do was step up to the plate straight up. She was 7 or 8. Her mom wanted me to adopt her, so I changed my living conditions, bought bedroom furniture, got her set up to go to school and everything. I was gonna adopt her, but her mom reneged on it when it was time to go to court, and I never heard from her again.
So the potential father has his own story of inconvenience lined up for the court. According to him, just a one-night stand had landed him the responsibility of a girl who wasn't his.
You say you did your best to try to establish a relationship.
Yes.
What was your understanding, Miss Mitchell?
My understanding was he was my father and we were supposed to try to build a relationship, but he never came around. Every time I try to call him, he always blow me off. It was like every once or twice a year I see him.
But this wasn't all, as he never showed compassion to the adopted child. Mr. Jordan was cold enough to not allow the plaintiff to address him as her father. Still, the plaintiff longed for his attention.
You claim you tried to call him daddy once.
Yes, I did.
And what happened?
He told me to call him Jordan.
Is that true, Mr. Jordan?
I tell everyone to call me Jordan, except her.
That's his daughter.
Your daughter.
Well, I raised this one like that.
That's his daughter.
So why is it that she can't call you daddy too?
But in his defense, the grim doubt made him act the way he did. But still, why make a child pay for someone else's actions? Is that civil? Though it was clear how the neglection had ruined the plaintiff.
You had some doubts as well.
Yes.
Talk to me about your dogs.
For one, I don't look nothing like them. They Amazons. Me, I'm short. I'm only 4'8". They up there around 6'2" or something like that. Then secondly, my birth certificate don't even have his name at all. I don't have his name. Nothing.
Jerome, may I see that, please?
What made things worse was that Mr. Jordan wasn't even on the birth certificate. Well, that is clear proof of denial. Now, how do you explain that, mister? And if you think that was too much, you should listen to a letter written by the plaintiff.
Dear Dad, even using that word brings up an image of pain. Lonely nights and years of questioning on why you were never there for me. How could you abandon me? I never did anything to you for you to treat me the way you did over the years. I needed you and you didn't even care. There were times when I called you trying to confide in you, and all you did was laugh like you're doing now.
If you think that's brutal, hold on, because there's more coming. Believe it or not, for Mr. Jordan, it was about bloodline. He didn't care about anything else. The guy even missed Miss Mitchell and tried to play dumb on the court.
I do care. Like I said, I truly do not know. And I am here today to get closure, to find out if this is truly the case. And if at any time that I find out that she is truly my blood, then things will change only on the fact that if she wants them to change.
By now, the judge was done with a big obnoxious daddy, so she called up the stepsister, who could not help but giggle idiotically in the court. She straight up claimed that the defendant was just faking her innocence, and her trust was in her dad's words. Well, this statement led to a brawl in the courtroom.
This is fake right here. All this crap. That's all
No,
fake.
what you are
She
is
is
fake.
not like that. That is all fake.
No,
Do
I'm
you
wrong.
girl stop playing?
Whatever,
You don't do what I
whatever.
tell you to do because
No,
I'm big
whatever. No,
sis.
you don't tell me to do nothing.
Whatever. And you do it.
No, I don't.
You do it.
No,
I ain't
I
trying to
do
hear
not.
you. Yes, you do.
So
No,
wait a
whatever.
minute. What's interesting are you fighting just like sisters?
All of the loud antics were no help, obviously. Both of the defendants were not ready to cut the poor defendant any slack. And even the judge was getting drained by this. So to end all the circus in the courtroom, she called in for the results.
when it comes to the paternity of 31-year-old Shante Mitchell. Mr. Jordan, you are her father.